Tres, dos, uno. Oh, hold on. This out of the way. It's gonna mess me up.
We'll do reviews, top 10, the 3 match reviews, and then punishment.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Ring Talk. Magic Tyler, Caysen Smith.
Our 80 subscribers special edition episode.
Yep.
80 subscribers.
80 strong.
21, we hit that 100 mark.
And then we get the poster.
We get the poster. And guess what? It all started with one.
It all started with one, and it was probably our parents or something.
Probably me on another account. I think maybe a third of these subscribers are just my different accounts.
Really?
It's possible.
You have... What's a third of 80?
I didn't do math. I didn't do very
It's a decimal.
Well, just round. Like 33%?
20 something?
I don't know. I have no clue. I'm horrible at
80
math.
times point.
It's like 33%.
Wait, I'm just 80 divided by 3. 80 divided by 3. 26.666666.
I don't like math.
So you have about 27 accounts.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Look, I don't like math, but what I do like is professional wrestling.
Yep.
Which is what we're talking about today.
The only math we know when it comes to professional wrestling is 1, 2, 3.
That big old 3 count. That's all that matters
That's all we know.
at the end of the day.
Well, we also know the 10 count, I
10
guess you
count.
could say.
10 count. But people don't like a count out. Nobody likes a count out victory.
Well, I mean, falls count anywhere.
Falls count anywhere. Or last man standing.
Ooh, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 with the Royal Rumble.
Ooh. Lots of numbers. There's actually a lot of numbers in professional wrestling.
They all go from like 1 to 10, but
1 to 10.
what else? What else do we have there as numbers? We
Numbers?
have dates.
Rey Mysterio's finisher is a 619.
Right. And speaking of dates, November 11th. Let's talk about Raw. Let's talk about Raw.
From November 11th kicks off with Damian Priest and Gunther face to face. It's going down at Survivor Series. We thought maybe it wasn't. We thought maybe it was going to be a Raw.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe something big will happen if they're happening on Survivor Series.
Yeah. And we're going to get to that in a bit on the next Raw. I
Right.
got some stuff to talk about there. I hope people noticed. But Damian Priest basically silenced Gunther.
Right.
Eventually, Ludwig Kaiser came out. And Gunther didn't appreciate it. He didn't like Ludwig Kaiser kind of speaking for him.
Yeah.
When he's not supposed to be speaking.
You could definitely see that Gunther was very scared.
Yeah.
You saw fear in Gunther. Mm-hmm.
It does seem like this title reign, he's not as confident
As he was his
Intercontinental or his NXT United.
Maybe it's
Kingdom.
because for the World Heavyweight title, the division they got better superstars.
It's packed. It's packed.
With Intercontinental, you got to worry about Akira Tozawa
Akira Tozawa.
and Chad Gable.
Hey, don't sleep on Chad Gable.
He lost to Rey Mysterio. So. I'm just kidding. Rey Mysterio's a go.
However, Damian Priest dropped Ludwig Kaiser, and that set up a match later on
Right.
that night.
Right.
But the first match of the night was Damage Control defeating Pure Fusion Collective, and this was the return of Dakota Kai from injury, her in-ring return.
We saw it backstage right before the match, and people were hyped.
I was hyped.
I was hyped. Were you hyped?
They picked up the big fat W.
Right.
Next match was Pete Dunne defeating Kofi Kingston.
Right. This started backstage whenever Kofi was talking to R-Truth, and then Pete Dunne comes in, and Kofi's like, hey, you don't talk to R-Truth that way. And then he gets involved, and Xavier Woods is like, whoa.
And it kind of started with R-Truth calling him Butch. You know,
Right.
Pete Dunne doesn't like Butch.
Right.
Yeah, and then Kofi tried to stick up for R-Truth, and Xavier Woods didn't like that Kofi was sticking his nose in business where it doesn't belong.
So we get into this match, and Kofi Kingston could have won it.
He was looking like Kofi Kingston of old.
Right. Kofi could have won it, but Kofi did not like the tactics that Xavier Woods used during that match.
Ref was distracted, and Xavier Woods went and basically just took out Pete Dunne.
Took out Pete Dunne, and Kofi's like, bro, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
And Xavier's like, what are you doing? Go pin him.
Kofi was like, I don't need your help. I can do it on my own.
Right.
Kind of mentality.
Or maybe do you think he wanted a more honorable win?
That
maybe?
too. I think it may be a combination of both.
Yeah.
Do you agree more with Kofi's view of things or Xavier Woods' view of things?
You know, in the WWE, you cannot make it without bending the rules a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, even with faces, you have to bend the rules a tiny bit.
Mm-hmm. You got to fight fire with fire.
Right. You can't fight fire with ice.
With ice.
Because the ice will melt.
It's just not going to work.
It's just not going to work.
You can't fight it with ice.
I mean, you could fight it with water. Sometimes the water takes the upper hand, but sometimes you need more water than you got.
The fire's just too strong.
Sometimes the water will anger the fire.
Yeah, you heard it.
We're bringing in fire science.
Well, nevertheless, Pete Dunne picked up the W.
Yep.
Another big W. I said it before.
breakdown
I'll say it again. Pete Dunne deserves a raise. He's been putting in the work.
They should just announce it for us.
Seriously, he's been putting in the work.
What if he has gotten a raise and we just don't know?
He deserves it. If he did, he deserves it.
Good.
Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins once again getting a huge brawl. I mean, this is going on week after week after week.
They're definitely building it up.
All they're doing is fighting.
So after Seth Rollins is done with the brawl, here comes Sami Zayn. Mm-hmm. Sami Zayn's looking for his...
And throughout the night, we were seeing, the OG Bloodline members trying to recruit. Right. I know they approached Braun Breaker.
I was about to say that Braun Breaker was one of them.
Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins after the thing, and Seth Rollins is like, no. Sammy, you got to be out of your mind.
He says he can't. He says he will never team with Roman Reigns again.
To give him the power, he doesn't want to gain power again.
Yeah, he's like, on principle, he can never team with Roman again.
And then later that night, let's go and talk about it now. Solo Sikoa also approaches Seth Rollins, and Seth is like, I won't team with Roman Reigns, but I will never team with you.
Never team with you.
So at this point, Seth Rollins is just like, I don't want to be a part of this.
He doesn't want to be involved.
He wants to handle his business with Bronson Reed.
Which I can respect it. I can respect it.
What can I say?
Here comes the match of Damian Priest and Ludwig Kaiser. Big win for Damian Priest.
Right.
Much to the dismay of Gunther. This kind of carries on to Raw, which, again, we'll get more into. There's something there I want to talk about that I hope people may have missed. I don't want to catch a little bit. Here's something you might like. We get The Miz and Final Testament in a segment with the Wyatt Six.
Right.
Miz pretty much wants to be done. He wants to apologize and everything.
The Miz was putting on a little act.
Was it an act? I would say so.
I would say so, since whenever they go in the ring and the Wyatt Six show up, Miz comes out with a chair and hits.
Did you see him get busted open?
In the back. Yeah.
He got busted. Miz got busted open a little bit and kind of looked cool.
It looked sick.
It looked sick. Here's the thing. This is the first time we've seen the Wyatt Six be the ones on the losing side of things.
Right. This is their first time ever losing a battle.
Yeah.
The war's not over, though.
War is far from over.
Oh, yeah.
I could see it going down at Saturday night's main event.
So now at first we thought it was going to be Uncle Howdy and The Miz. Mm-hmm. But now we're seeing Uncle Howdy versus The Miz and Final Testament.
Yeah, I see this going down at Saturday night's main event. 100%.
Where else?
Then we got the main event of the night was Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill retaining their tag team titles against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And after the match, Io Sky came out and helped Belair, Cargill, and Naomi clear the ring of Morgan, Rodriguez, Nia Jax, and Tiffany Stratton.
Io Sky did win the Battle Royale. Mm-hmm. So
she's got her problems with Liv Morgan.
Right. So of course she's going to be involved. We cannot throw that out the window. Mm-hmm. My question for you is, do you think we will have a new champion?
Between the two?
Yep.
No.
Nope. No. He thinks Liv Morgan's still going to keep it, folks.
With all the stuff going down with Rhea Ripley, as much as I would love Io Sky to be champion again, don't get me wrong. I think one day she will be.
Right.
Liv Morgan's got some unfinished business with Rhea Ripley.
And we see that later on Raw.
Yeah.
We'll get to next week.
Now, moving on to NXT from November 12th.
Right.
So we're starting to set up some stuff in NXT.
Yep.
So to kick it off, we had the team of Julia and Stephanie Vaquer defeating Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. Metaphor coming off a lot of work on the main roster.
They want that pay raise.
They were at Crown Jewel. Can make the argument they've been putting in the work.
They're pulling in the Pete Dunne pay raise.
They're putting in the work. And then we got our first women's qualifying match for the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge. We had Sol Ruka defeat Cora Jade. Huge win for Sol Ruka, who I think has maybe one of the best, when it comes to the women's division, finishers in the division.
It's sick.
When she jumps off and does like the front flip and then comes in with the cutter.
Yeah.
It looks sick.
It looks sick.
That soul snatch is what she calls it.
Soul snatcher.
Soul snatcher.
It would snatch my soul.
Absolutely. Then we got the first qualifying match for the men's Iron Survivor. Wesley defeating Cedric Alexander.
I mean, Wesley is definitely on the rise.
He's on the rise.
We've been seeing it.
He's ready for that main title picture.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this. Cedric Alexander, I don't know why he's still in the in the roster at all.
I think his work right now is just kind of help elevate younger talent, like Javon Evans.
I feel like the only point of Cedric Alexander's career that I really took out of was whenever he won the Cruiserweight Championship.
And the Hurt Business. I love the Hurt Business.
Yeah,
they were tag team champions with Shelton Benjamin.
That's right. I forgot about that. Mm-hmm. But my point is, the point where he actually made a name for himself was during that time.
He was good in the Cruiserweight division. Very good.
The Cruiserweight division was fun, in my opinion. I don't know why they took it out.
They should bring it back.
With Enzo Amore being the champion. Oh, you remember that?
I remember that.
Neville.
Absolutely.
All right, let's keep talking about NXT. My bad.
Then we have Andre Chase and Ridge Holland lay down a high-stakes #1 contenders challenge to champion Trick Williams. The challenge, obviously, winner gets shot at the title.
Right.
But Ridge Holland didn't want to do it at first. He's like, I already beat you in an ambulance match. I don't need to fight you again.
Right. He's already proved that he's in the
Ridge Holland said that he will put the university on the line.
Ooh.
He says that if he loses, Chase U is no more. And we'll get to what happens that later in the next NXT episode. Next match is Nikita Lyons defeating Adriana Rizzo.
Right. Rizzo.
Then we got Javon Evans defeating Lexis King to qualify for the Men's Iron Survivor Challenge. When was the last time Lexis King won a match?
It's been a while. I can't remember.
Dude, I love Lexis King. I love the aura around him. I love his gimmick, his personality.
Do you think they're not giving him the respect he deserves?
I don't know. I think so. I think he deserves a little bit more. But we'll see. We'll see where they go. Maybe
he's the next North American champion.
It could be. And then we have Fallon Henley defeating Kalani Jordan to retain the NXT North American Women's Championship in their Kalani Jordan's title rematch. Fatal Influence got involved. They already knew they were going to get involved, and there was nothing Kalani could do to stop them. But then to end the night, throughout the night, they were hyping up the tag team division. Like, we need some new contenders. Right. So the night ends with an NXT tag teams brawl. Like, that's how the night ends. They just all start fighting each other.
I would like
Here's
to see
my
that.
take. I'm rooting for Hank and Tank.
Hank and Tank.
I love Hank and Tank.
Hank and Tank.
All night long, baby.
Who would you root for?
Yeah. In the tag team division, who do you want to reign supreme? Moving on to SmackDown, November 15th. Kicks off. Cody Rhodes demanded that Kevin Owens get the beatdown that he deserves.
Beatdown. I'm going to go and say it right now. It's really getting to the point where I feel like Randy's going to turn on Cody.
I think it will happen. Now, before we get into that, clearly they're setting up for Survivor Series.
Right.
And let's just be frank. And we'll get to more Bloodline stuff and War Games and Raw especially. But it's looking like it's going to be Seth Rollins will eventually join Roman Reigns in the Bloodline.
Right.
To take on Bronson Reed in that Bloodline. I still think they should have gone with Cody and Kevin Owens.
I thought so,
now,
too.
I understand that people feel like, well, Cody hasn't defended that title in a while, which I get. Which they have a point. It's been a hot... I don't know when the last time Cody defended the title.
Right.
Was it... I think the Kevin Owens match, which was at... I forget what event that would have been.
It was a while ago.
Yeah, because they had at Bad Blood. He had
he went against
Yeah, because at Bad Blood, it was Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns versus the Bloodline.
Who was it before? What was the championship match before? Was it Cody and Solo?
Cody. Well, that was at SummerSlam.
What was the championship match before the
before
Bad Blood?
I think it was Cody and Kevin Owens, where because then it was at Bad Blood where Kevin Owens attacked Cody in the parking lot.
Right. I get that now, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head.
I forgot they had a championship. Yeah, like Kevin was like making sure that he doesn't take all the low blows and stuff during that match.
Yeah.
To win it. He was being respectful during it. So that means like whenever they have this match now, Kevin's going to do whatever it takes.
He's going to do whatever it takes to win.
Yeah.
Now I do think it would be better if it was Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens joining, but I feel like there's so much story there. And then at Survivor Series, you could have just had Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed one more time.
Right.
And maybe you put a stipulation match on it, like a Falls Count Anywhere, however you want to do it. But at the same time, I understand that they want Cody to defend the title again. I get it.
Maybe they should have had that happen on Saturday night.
That's how I would have done it. But I'm not the booker.
Do you think Triple H is selling right now?
Selling his position?
Is he selling it?
I don't know if you sell your position.
He's selling.
Moving on to the next match, which was the first Women's United States title tournament triple threat match.
Right.
So we're doing a whole tournament, and the finals will take place at Saturday night's main event. This match consisted of Bayley defeating B-Fab and Candice LeRae. Big win for the legend Bayley.
Let's go ahead and say this right now. Bayley she's still up there.
She's still up there.
Let's talk about this. She was a former champion, recent champion.
Former multi-time Royal Rumble winner. Money in the Bank winner. Tag team champion.
Bank.
NXT women's champion.
What can I say?
However, I don't think she's going to be the first United States champion. I think it's going to be held for someone, kind of like they did for the NXT North American Women's Championship with Kalani Jordan. It's going to be someone that
they're going to push them.
Push someone new.
Yeah.
I think is the way they're going to go with it.
I think they're going to go with hold on, never mind. Let me
I can't remember who else. As far as I know, they're sticking with SmackDown women.
Right.
As far as I know.
Right.
So, Blair Davenport's up there, possibly to do something with her. Who else is women on the SmackDown roster? You could put Jade Cargill or Bianca Belair in there somewhere.
Naomi's
in there.
If they want to get her back up there.
They could do that, absolutely. Moving on, LA Knight put out an open challenge for the United States Championship, and out came Legado del Fantasma. And it was Berto that stepped up.
Yeah.
But he got put down.
He got cooked.
But tell him what happened next.
Shinsuke Nakamura came out, man.
It's about freaking time.
Dude, he looked sick.
He looked awesome.
He looked awesome.
I may have him win the title.
Dude.
I could maybe pull the trigger and have him beat LA Knight.
Hold up. Shinsuke Nakamura should have won after the Royal Rumble match.
Absolutely. We've said this time and time again. One of the biggest mistakes was not having Shinsuke beat AJ Styles at WrestleMania. I think it should
This is their chance to get him back up to the top.
Beat LA Knight, become United States champion.
They also sold with Shinsuke Nakamura losing to Seth Rollins. Mm-hmm. So once again, Shinsuke is still going down the hill.
Down.
This could be the moment for him.
Yeah. When does this match happen? Saturday night's main event?
I'd say so.
We're thinking about so many matches. Remember, it's only like a 2-hour show.
Right.
So there's only so much they can fit on one night.
That's why I feel like every single podcast episode we're like, this could happen on Saturday.
But it
we
could.
Said that about 50 matches.
I'm pretty sure. Surely all the matches we've said, at least 80% of them are happening.
Yeah.
Surely you would think. Here on SmackDown, Bronson Reed officially joined the Bloodline to destroy Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, the Usos. It's clear as day. Bronson Reed was joining the Bloodline.
Right.
For temporarily. Next, some interesting stuff transpired with the tag team division. Motor City Machine Guns defended the titles against the Street Profits, but it ended in a disqualification.
Tell us why.
Because Tommaso Ciampa comes out, takes down the Street Profits, who believe that they cut the line.
Right. So we're definitely seeing a breakdown with DIY.
Yeah, because Johnny Gargano came out. He's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
Now,
and he pushes him. Tommaso pushes him to the ground.
Now, going about this, Everyone thinks that this might be another breakup between DIY.
History repeats itself.
But what if?
What if Johnny joins him?
What if it's an Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae situation?
Where Johnny eventually gives in and helps him?
This one would be more surprising than that one, of course.
But it's possible. I could see it.
We've never seen a heel Johnny Gargano, have we?
NXT, they kind of did with The Way. With the group The Way.
Right.
They did a bit.
But it'd be cool to see it happen on the main roster.
We'll see. I've said it before. I'll say it again.
These two know how to put on a match.
We've seen the work they put on in NXT. They can put on some banger stories here on the main roster as well. But after all that, Motor City Machine Guns tried to apologize to Street Profits. They're like, we had nothing to do with it. Angelo Dawkins did not feel the same. He socked one of them. Right in the face.
Angelo's not happy.
He's not happy. He ain't happy. Main event was Nia Jax defeating Naomi to retain the title.
Right.
And Tiffany Stratton, Bayley, Candice LeRae, all these women got involved during the match. But in the end, Nia Jax picked up the W.
Now, of course, Naomi had the pin on Nia Jax, but I still felt like it was obvious that Nia was going to win that. Mm-hmm. But we're definitely setting up for a cash-in.
Absolutely. Here's what I think. Let's make if Tiffany Stratton's going to do it, let's make a moment out of it.
Right.
Cash it in at War Games.
After the War Games?
After the War Games. Maybe their team loses, but Nia Jax is the one that's taking a lot of the punishment.
Mm-hmm. I can see it.
And she cashes in. Never been done before.
Like cash in inside the cage?
Like maybe it's after the match. After the match is all done, and Nia Jax is the one laying on the ground. Yeah. Tiffany's like,
would she be the first person to cash in on her tag team partner?
She might be. I don't know if that's ever happened before.
Let us know.
Let us know if someone has ever cashed in on their who at the time was their ally, their partner.
Yeah. I guess like their team member.
Yeah, someone like on their team member.
Cash in on their team member after they lost their tag team match. Or whatever type of team match there was.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
That'd be sick. Moving on to this past Raw, November 18th. Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae joined officially Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Then Rhea Ripley makes her surprise return.
With like the mask.
With the little face mask. And she had a one-word response.
War Games.
War Games.
Because
she makes the return alongside Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Io Sky. And Kairi Sane was there, but eventually they put in Naomi. Right. Naomi's going to be on the team. Then, a big brawl basically just transpires. Right. They're all fighting each other.
She goes, War Games, and then headbutts her. What did they call that again with her headbutt? Did they just call it a headbutt?
Yeah.
I thought they had like a name for it.
I know Drew McIntyre has a name for his.
It's Glasgow Kiss.
The Glasgow Kiss. Kiss, yeah. Rhea just gives a mean headbutt. That's what I call it, a mean headbutt.
She does it a lot, so I thought she had a name for it, but I don't know.
First match of the night was a mixed tag team match. You had Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega defeating Chad Gable and Ivy Nile.
You can't let Chad Gable beat a legend like Rey Mysterio, man. Like Rey Mysterio, he's still that guy.
He's still that guy.
He's still a Hall of Famer.
After the match, Chad Gable, he started tearing into the Creed brothers, pushing them. He smacked them. He's wanting to get him in that headspace, and that's what he got him. They started pushing each other, yelling at each other, and that's what Chad Gable wanted.
He's getting the best out of them.
He wanted to get him in that headspace, that dominating, aggressive headspace.
He couldn't do it to Otis and Akira Tozawa because they're too weak.
Ooh. Hold back.
Well, think about it. Is Otis and Akira Tozawa in the show?
I didn't see him.
Nowhere to be found.
Again, I still think that's Saturday night's main event. I think these teams are going at it.
Next. What's the next part?
Intercontinental Championship Braun Breaker defeated Sheamus, but by disqualification.
Because Ludwig Kaiser came in.
Yeah. And got involved. Now, before this, I believe there was a backstage segment. I can't remember if it was before or after. I don't remember exactly. But before or after, we see Gunther backstage with Ludwig Kaiser.
I think it was before.
I think it was before. Because I think this is what kind of inspired him to go do this.
Right.
Gunther basically was talking about what had happened the week before. Jeez. That was loud. That scared me.
Yeah.
Anyways,
what were we talking about?
Gunther was getting on to Ludwig Kaiser.
Right.
And saying, know your place.
Mm-hmm.
But he said one line that got me thinking. He said, "Look in my eyes. What do you see?" That's the first line of CM Punk's theme song.
Well, I feel like it's obvious now.
So now, I'm calling it. Gunther most likely picks up the W at Survivor Series. CM Punk confronts him.
It's always at Survivor Series where CM Punk makes that return.
Hear me out. Gunther versus Punk, world title. Saturday night's main event.
We're going to have 20 matches in a 2-hour show.
Hear me out. Or hear me out. Or hear about this.
I feel like
Gunther and Punk on the first Raw on Netflix.
I feel like that's what will happen. Because they need to have like a main event title match.
And Gunther versus Punk. Punk's first match on Raw since his return.
Right, which probably during that match, we're probably not going to be able to see any of it because it's going to buffer.
It's going to buffer the whole time. You won't be able to see any of it. All right, moving on. We have the War Raiders defeating Carlito and Dominic Mysterio.
War Raiders are still them.
And then the World Tag Team Champions, JD McDonough and Finn Balor, take out the War Raiders. I feel like the War Raiders could possibly pick up the W.
Especially with their new name and stuff and how they pushed them so much from winning this.
Yeah, I could see them maybe pulling it off. Yeah. Main event time, Bronson Reed defeated Seth Rollins after both OG Bloodline and current Bloodline getting involved. Bronson Reed still picked up the W.
It distracted Seth, man. It got into his mind. He thought that this night would be a match that was just clean.
I feel like it's not going to help his case with joining the Bloodline.
Right.
I feel like it's just not going to help. I'm betting we'll see him maybe on SmackDown, honestly.
He probably will.
We'll see Seth on SmackDown this Friday. Anything more? There was some Uncle Howdy and Miz and Final Testament promos that were going on throughout the night. Just kind of building it up and hyping it up.
Because once again, it's a 2-hour show. If it was a 3-hour show, they definitely would have had a segment.
They would have had a segment. Moving on to NXT, we had another Iron Survivor men's qualifier match. Nathan Frazier defeating Eddie Thrope. Big win for one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions.
Yeah.
Stephanie Vaquer defeated Jada Parker because Lola Vice distracted Parker. Seems like this rivalry is still not over yet.
It's not over.
Then we had Tony D'Angelo defeating Brooks Jensen.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had a mixed tag team match between the Lovers, Carmen Petrovic and Ashanti the Adonis, against Brinley Reese and Dion Lennox. Ashanti and Carmen picked up the W.
Right.
Then we had Zarya defeating Ren Sinclair in a women's Iron Survivor qualifying match. Big win for Zarya. And then we had Fallon Henley's Open Challenge, which just ended in a brawl. Like they all started fighting each other. A bunch of women came out. And then we had the main event, Ridge Holland defeating Andre Chase to become number one contender. That means Chase U is no more.
Chase U is no more. That's big. That's a big step.
And I think this may be official.
Do you think it's official?
I don't think them coming back is going to happen.
Do you think maybe a new gimmick for them maybe is going to start?
Possibly, but I don't know. It was you saw the crowd.
They were so shocked.
There are a lot of Chase U. I was upset. I had my Chase U sign up.
The entire match?
Entire match, but it wasn't enough. Man. Ridge Holland is now the number one contender for the NXT Championship.
And with that comes with a sad end to our recaps. Let's go ahead and do our top 10.
Top 10.
We'll let that sink in for y'all. Let's go to our top 10.
Where's my list at?
Let me get my list.
We decided we would do top 10 factions of all time. And before we get started, I decided to do Ask AI what they thought
Right.
their top 10 was.
So we'll let for their 10 spot, we'll say that with ours, right? And then 9.
Well, I figured we'd do it now just because I'm going to play the video, and it's kind of hard to have it go on the whole
for editing
time.
reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, editing reasons. So
All right.
their number 10
Let's look at it's right here. Right here.
somewhere.
Somewhere.
Maybe it's to
Maybe
mine.
it's in the corner, right?
It's somewhere here.
Maybe it's right here.
Number 10, they had the Bloodline at number 10. Number 9, the Wyatt family.
Right.
Number 8, the New Day. And then number 7, the Ministry of Darkness, which I thought was a good pick.
It was a good pick.
People don't think about that as often. Number 6, the Heart Foundation. Number 5, Evolution. Number 4, the Shield. Number 3, the Four Horsemen. Number 2, NWO. Number 1, D-Generation X.
You can't forget about DX.
Can't forget about DX. So now let's move on to our number 10, which mine was...
I'm going to go and start with one of the greatest NXT
groups
of all time. 3, 2, 1, Undisputed Era.
I had the Heart Foundation. I mean, in the 90s, they were big.
Right.
They were big. You had Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Jim the Anvil, Neidhart, all those guys. British Bulldog.
Right.
All huge members of that group.
Undisputed Era made such a big impact on
Especially
NXT.
during the pandemic era. They were kind of there.
Yeah.
Kind of held down the fort during what people say is the golden years of NXT.
Maybe one day they'll return.
Maybe.
They bring the boom.
That's what they do. 3, 2, 1.
Judgment Day.
The New Day, number 9.
Oh, okay.
Judgment Day I had in my honorable mentions. Yeah.
I wanted to put the Judgment Day on there, but surely they can't be over like an 8, you know? Like,
Yeah. I put the New Day. I mean, we're coming up on their 10-year anniversary.
Right. Might as well.
We might be seeing the end of the New Day.
Sadly.
I mean, Judgment Day, I mean, they've been making a name for themselves these past couple of years.
Even if the New Day ends, they will still be in our top 10.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number 8. 3, 2, 1.
Had the Undisputed Era.
Heart Foundation, so our 10 and 8 spots switched.
Boom!
That's what we do.
That's right. I loved the Undisputed Era. Absolutely loved them. You know how much... I mean, if we could just...
Right.
If our historic match reviews could just all be Undisputed Era matches, I would. That's how much they're good.
I mean,
Again, Heart Foundation,
NXT matches in that time were crazy.
They're crazy. It's like every match was a main event match.
Right.
And Heart Foundation, obviously, the legends in that group.
Right.
The legends.
Let's go with number 7.
Three, 2, 1.
Wyatt family.
I had the Four Horsemen. Back in definitely in like the 80s and such. I mean, they were the group.
Right.
They were huge. You know, all those guys, Arn Anderson, people like Ric Flair, legends.
They're legends.
Legends.
Hall of Famers.
Hall of Famers. The group is literally in the Hall of Fame.
Of course, I got to put the Wyatt family.
The Wyatt
on there.
family, absolutely.
It's huge impact in WWE.
And
Changed
still to this day.
creativity as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for that faction, I don't know if any of the Wyatt family members would even be a thing.
Right.
3, 2, 1. The New Day.
Wyatt family.
New Day.
Rocks. Now, keep in mind, New Day didn't start out as a fan favorite.
Right. They were a heel group.
They won over the fans.
Because they were so good.
They were
at
so
what
good,
they do.
entertaining.
Right. They're kind of like, of course, they're completely different than the Bloodline. But the Bloodline, everyone hated at first. But the more they reigned, the more powerful they got. The more people acknowledge Roman Reigns.
We acknowledge our tribal chief.
We acknowledge him.
Number 5.
3, 2, 1. NWO.
I had the Shield.
Shield is crazy. They're unstoppable.
They were made such a huge impact because at the time they came in 2012.
Right.
And they were helping CM Punk retain his WWE Championship. And then they just only grew. And then we had Seth Rollins turning on the Shield, one of the biggest betrayals in history, which kicked off all those guys' careers in different trajectories. And look at them where they are. All those guys are now. And then they ended up getting back together, and they had that reunion. What did you have?
I had NWO.
NWO for life.
For life.
WCW would be nothing without the NWO.
They were impactful.
Hugely impactful. Especially during the Monday Night Wars.
Yeah.
All right,
Hulk Hogan, man.
have to use your marker.
Hollywood Hogan.
Especially because people didn't quite know what they were going to get.
From this group.
Especially from Hulk Hogan coming into WCW. Right. They were like, are we going to get the Hulkamania that we got in the 80s or something new?
Yeah.
And it was something new. It was Hollywood Hogan.
It was a good decision.
Very good decision. Number 4, 3, 2, 1.
DX.
The Bloodline. I think it's safe to say Bloodline is one of the greatest factions of all time.
Yeah.
What they've done, the storyline they've put on for the past, keep in mind, 4 years. It's been 4 years that they've been doing this. Since you've been in high school, they've been doing this.
Right. And they've done so much.
Mm-hmm.
I had the D-Generation X. I'm not going to do it. I don't want YouTube to get mad.
D-Generation X, and if you're not down with that, you got 2 words for you.
Suck it.
Suck it. So, again, kind of like the NWO during the Monday Night Wars, the WWE had D-Generation X.
Right.
Who once invaded WCW on live TV, which was crazy.
Yeah.
DX, I mean, long history. They kind of will come back every now and then. They had a good run in like the mid-2000s. Then they came back in the late 2000s.
I really wish that 2K would have D-Generation X on there.
Yeah.
Like their entrances and everything. Like, come on now.
Come on. Surely they do.
I don't think they do.
Yeah.
Or at least not their theme song. I think they have their motions and stuff, but they don't have.
They don't have the theme song.
And they also don't have a Shawn Michaels fit as well. Anyways, 3, 2, 1, Bloodline.
Evolution.
I gotta acknowledge my tribal chief.
Everything you gotta acknowledge. I mean, look at Evolution.
Right.
Kind of like the Shield, where they started out as nobodies and became somebodies.
They became unstoppable.
Keep in mind, this is Evolution. Triple H, Randy Orton, Batista, and Ric Flair.
I'm about to lose it.
Think of all the world championships in those 4 men.
All of those guys are like, they were crazy on their own. They didn't need a group.
Yeah. And the stories they were able to, I mean, it made Randy Orton a main eventer.
Right.
And it made Batista a main eventer.
Right.
It helped rejuvenate, I feel like, give Ric Flair a place in professional wrestling. And then Triple H was perfect as like the main guy in the group.
Right.
Obviously, Triple H was the face of the company at that point.
Right. Let's talk about a number 2. If his marker will work. Make sure I zoom into my face right now. All right, 3, 2, 1. The Shield.
NWO.
The Shield. There you go.
Yeah, again, the Shield. Big part of all these guys' careers was the Shield.
Even with one of their superstars being like kicked out.
Of the company?
Of the company.
I don't think he was kicked out. I think he left.
Yeah. Leaving the company, they still bring it up all the time.
They still bring it up. You can't not bring it up. And remember at WrestleMania when the Shield music hit, everybody thought Dean Ambrose, John Moxley was coming out. They thought, is this actually possible?
Missed opportunity. But they probably couldn't get him
probably
in
wouldn't
anyways.
have been possible. Number 1.
3, 2, 1, Evolution.
D-Generation X.
I mean, what can I say?
Evolution, I mean, again, all the world championships in that group is crazy to think about.
They're crazy.
D-Generation X, you had Triple H, you had Shawn Michaels, you had the New Age Outlaws, you had X-Pac, you had China.
China.
I mean, those that group was such an instrumental part of Raw's program, definitely in the 90s during the Monday Night War, and then carrying on through around 2006, I think, was kind of when they got back together, at least Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and just legends. And look at it now.
Crazy.
Who's running creative in WWE right now? Triple H.
Triple H.
Who's running NXT right now? Shawn Michaels.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're
because
doing.
they've been a part of what
they have such an inside knowledge of how the locker room works.
Right.
And yeah, they've been in the business so long, they know how it works.
Shout out.
All
right, let's go ahead and talk about our match reviews.
Match review.
That was our top 10. Mm-hmm. Give us any ideas if you want any.
Yeah, any future top 10s. It was your week, so you picked, let's go Sami Zayn week.
Sami Zayn week. Which match do you want to do first?
Let's go in order, year-wise.
So Cesaro won.
Cesaro and Sami Zayn.
Right.
At NXT Arrival in 2014. Golly, 10 years ago.
Yeah. This is Cesaro is. Mm-hmm. He was crazy.
This is beginning Sami Zayn kind of
right
in WWE.
Cesaro with his severe uppercuts.
Yeah, and this was before Cesaro did like anything with the bar.
Right.
I mean, I think he maybe had just won or was getting close to winning, depending on when the date of this event. Right. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Right.
He was making a name for himself.
I mean, with the peak athleticism that he had, you might as well.
And then with the pure wrestling skill of Sami Zayn.
Right.
It was a banger match.
During this match, Sami had heart, man.
He had heart.
After so much going through that match, he was still...
You got a good taste of that Sami Zayn heart.
Right. That's the reason I picked that match, because Sami Zayn, he had the heart.
Yeah, unfortunately, the heart wasn't enough this night.
Right. But the heart will be later, and we'll talk about that.
Cesaro picked up the W, but we're moving on to the next match.
Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura. NXT TakeOver 2016 Dallas.
For Shinsuke's debut match in WWE and NXT.
Right, Shinsuke's debut match.
He picks up the win.
It was crazy.
Another loss for Sami Zayn.
But this match was a banger.
Yeah, because at this point, Sami Zayn was on the main roster. Right. Just keep in mind. Because he was gearing up for WrestleMania at this time.
Right.
For the Intercontinental Championship ladder match.
And, dude, that match went on forever. Yeah. It was a great match. It was
back and forth.
Right. The crowd was so hype.
I think they were really trying to show Shinsuke's skill.
Yeah.
People that maybe weren't familiar with him definitely learned about him that night.
Yeah. But still, Sami Zayn, he put on, once again, another banger match. Mm-hmm. And throughout all the trials that Sami Zayn faced, losing all these matches, look where he is now. Sami Zayn versus Gunther, WrestleMania 40. Mm-hmm. The heart that he had.
Yeah. What a match.
What a match. He won it. He won it. With that heart that he had.
He did it. He did the...
10 years ago.
Now, keep in mind, during this match, Gunther was dominating. Right. And he was vicious. He was, when he did the big power bomb, and then he brought him back up and did it again. Sami Zayn still kicks out.
That heart.
That heart,
10 years ago.
He puts him in the sleeper hold. Sami Zayn finds a way to get out of it.
Right.
He eventually hits a haluva kick when Gunther's on the top rope.
Right.
And eventually does a brain buster.
The brain buster is what I was about to say. Yeah. That was sick.
Yeah. And that helps set up the win.
Yeah. And
then he hits
another
haluva kick
right after that.
And then hits one more.
And then wins.
And then
Dude, at the beginning of the match, the crowd was like this. Towards the end of that match, everyone was on their feet. It was crazy. It
was a nice touch before the match, before Sami Zayn went out, where he got to
see Kevin Owens. Right.
Nice little touch.
It was a rocky story for Philadelphia.
It was a rocky story for Philadelphia. And Sami Zayn came out on top.
All three of those matches were great. They were great.
Great matches. So is it time for me to announce my matches?
Yeah. Let's see. So let us know what's going on, man. What's the theme?
So we got Survivor Series Wargames coming up. We're gearing up. We're getting excited. So I decided, let's do 3 War Game matches. Give us your best War Games.
War Games!
Whoa, chill.
I didn't want to be too loud.
Don't be too loud. You're going to wake the neighbors. However, so I decided let's go 3 War Games matches. We're kicking it off with the men's War Games match from 2019. So this was an undisputed era, which in NXT, I think, like,
this is like
they were in 90% of them.
Is this like the debut of the War Games?
No, this was maybe the second or third year of War Games. Maybe second.
I think it was second.
Yeah, because this was 2019, so not quite pandemic.
But it was still a great War Games.
Because I think 2020 was like the year they did Pat McAfee's War Games match. So this is the year before. I think this was the one where Kevin Owens was on the other team.
Right.
It was cool to see Kevin Owens going up against like Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Roderick Strong, Bobby Fish. Next is the Women's War Games match from 2020. Pandemic era. Thunderdome.
It was still a great match.
Still a great match. And then finally, let's kick it off with last year.
That was a great one.
Team Cody versus the Judgment Day.
Team JD.
Team JD. JD was on the team. JD McDonough. And keep in mind, also showcase the return of CM Punk.
Which is kind of funny that they're having the return of CM Punk happen there. They're probably going to have him return
again at Survivor Series.
Yeah. Which is probably why they're having that championship match happen at Survivor Series. Yeah.
Those are your 3 homework matches for this next week.
Look in my eyes, what do you see? Okay, let's sign out. Let's sign out.
Got one more thing to do.
What's our one more thing? The punishment.
Yeah, punishment time.
I thought we were going to record that after.
Well, I think we might as well just do it now.
Okay, let's just do it now. All right. He's got to chug this entire thing, y'all. He's just got to chug it.
We'll see how much I get.
Well, that's the part of the challenge.
All right.
That's why it's a challenge. You got to chug it.
This is your challenge. You got to entertain the audience while I'm doing this.
All right, people. Should I have like a video on my phone so they get like a close-up?
No, this is good. This is good enough.
Okay.
They don't need to see the close-up. So what? I just try and drink as much as I possibly can?
You just chug it.
All right, I'm going to do...
Don't die.
I'm going to do as much as I possibly can.
Okay, go. You chug it. Chug it now. Chug it now. Chug it now. Chug it now. Chug it. Keep going. Keep going. You can't burp. No burping.
Can I do like small ones to try and keep it in?
Well, you gotta let out like one big one at the end. Keep going. Chug it. Go. Let it out. Just let it out.
It's making my eyes water. I'll do the whole thing. I'll do the whole bottle.
You're gonna do the whole thing?
I'm gonna do the whole bottle.
It wasn't really meant for you to take breaks in between, but
I can't. I don't know how people do it. It's an impressive skill. I give it to them. It's an impressive skill. I wish I could know how to do it. Maybe one day, but get off my back, dude.
Keep going.
Oh.
Jeez. 4 in a row, people. That's insane. Chug. Keep chugging it. Keep chugging.
I'm almost there.
If you're on Spotify right now, you gotta check out the YouTube. Because you're probably like, what is you're just hearing burping right now. All right, so he's about 2 or 3 inches away from the bottom. Jeez.
Holy,
it smells horrible. Dude. Oh, keep going.
Oh, one day you get to do this. Hopefully, I kill it on the Survivor Series predictions.
We're gonna put this back on there.
Yeah, If I gotta do this, you're gonna have to eventually do this.
What if the wheel goes to something else? Oh, the bottle popped, y'all. The bottle popped. Oh my gosh.
This bottle says "see you again." It says "recycle me," and then it says "see you again soon." Because you're gonna reuse the bottle. Oh,
Dude, from the videos I've seen, they like chug the entire thing.
I don't know how people
let
do
it
that.
out.
That's insane.
Do you remember the burp from Elf?
Yeah,
It would sound
it's like that.
It would sound worse than that. It would sound like loud and crazy. Ugh. Next time we'll need to do the Sprite banana challenge. Have you seen that? Apparently, like, you can't do it. Like, you can't eat a banana and then drink Sprite right after. You like throw up from it and stuff.
It's just like the mixture of it.
I guess. Like the potassium or whatever. Oh gosh. It's the loudest one yet.
Or if there's like people outside that door just listening to
They're
this.
just like, their ears are like to the door.
Like, gosh, there's some weird kids that go here.
Oh, you're almost done. Oh, there we go. Give a hand, people. Give a hand. Oh, gosh. I told you it was going to be burping, man.
Oh, my goodness, dude. I've seen the video. I know what you're talking about. I don't know how they do it. It's some good trick. I don't know. There's a way you're like able to open up your throat and it just goes all the way down. I don't have that skill yet. I haven't unlocked that skill yet.
I'm not very good at chugging things, so I hope I never get that. All right, so
Sonny's out of here.
So while he's burping, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I'm gonna sit back here because it smells really bad.
Yeah, next episode we're gonna have the predictions. We'll have predictions for
Yep.
Survivor Series.
We'll have more recaps, more match reviews, top 10 list.
Caysen, some top 10 lists for next week.
Yep. And we love y'all. We thank you for the 80 subscribers. This is the 80 subscriber punishment. Magic Tyler, Caysen Smith, and we'll see you on the next one.